Steeler Nation, what's good? It's your boy Tate in the building for another Wednesday of Tate's Take. Not a whole lot going on that we want to talk about this evening on multiple broadcasts on the KnoItAllz network. That would be Smash the Gas at 7:15. Be sure to tap into that. Myself, Big G, the homie Curb in the building. We're going to talk about the roster moves that have been made. Does it even matter? And talk about a little bit about this weekend's matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. So we're going to talk about that. Then right after that, we go to Pump Your Brakes. We're going to talk about change. We need a change, right? So we'll get into that, whether it's the head coach, the coaching staff, some players, things we need to do to get our Pittsburgh Steelers back. Because it's been a minute since we really felt like we have our Pittsburgh Steelers. With that being said, today's take is about the sinking Steelers, as it's been seemingly for the past 6 years. I mean, they haven't won a playoff game in 8 years, but definitely the last 6 years, we're going nowhere fast. Making it to the playoffs, not winning a playoff game, obviously. Being overmatched, especially at the quarterback position for these years. And the Steelers, they always give us hope, right? We start out typically fast. We crash out at some point during the latter third of the season. And we scratch and claw our way to a playoff appearance. Then it's the same thing every year. It's like Groundhog's Day, right? We just can't get over the top. So I've been recently, and you guys know, especially Claude out there, and I think this is funny, Claude. If you're watching, check it out. I think it's time for a change, man. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to a change. I kind of think it's time for a change. We need to see something different. We haven't seen anything different in a while. It's like Mike Tomlin had that look. That's why I equated to the Titanic only sank once. The Steelers sink every week. You ever watched the movie Titanic? I believe it was 98, 99, but Leonardo DiCaprio, excellent movie, classic, as a matter of fact. Probably about 27 years old right now. But yeah, man, if you remember the scene where the captain knew it was inevitable that the ship was going to sink, standing in the captain's quarters in the ship, whatever they call it on a boat. Captain standing at the wheel of the ship. No, he realizes this is going down, realizes sinking fast, right? And he has this look on his face like, oh shit, the ship is going down and we on it. So that's kind of how it's been with the Steelers for the past 6 years or so. And we've been sinking. We're not taking as much water as the Titanic did, obviously, because that sank in the night. The Steelers have been steadily sinking. Mike Tomlin is the captain. And every week, 5-6 times a year now, you see that look on his face like, oh, shit, we're sinking. And, yeah, enough is enough of that. So we'll talk about some potential things that could be done. And we'll really get into some of this stuff tonight. So I don't really want to talk about it too much. I got to save some of the content, the ideas, and to have a discussion with Big G and Shannon on this particular thing. And we'll talk about some of that and some other stuff. Let's shout out whoever's in the live chat right now. I appreciate you for tapping in and showing up. The boy Claude, the homie Claude, is in the building. Shout out Claude, man. You know what I thought was funny, man? Big Ben said on this podcast this today. He thinks Mike Tomlin should move on. Maybe, he said he likes and respects Mike Tomlin and stuff like that. No shot at him. Just maybe it's time for a change, something different. Kind of like where I think a lot of Steelers fans have been. I think they respect him as a coach, as a man about Pittsburgh and the NFL. But bruh, you coaching, you just ain't stepped up. Checking out Stephen A. Smith this morning. You know, he's a Steeler fan. And he feels a lot like I feel. He said he loves Mike Tomlin. Big fan of Mike Tomlin. Obviously a big fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he said it may just be time for a different voice. So I kind of concur with Stephen A. Smith. But, you know, he said it doesn't mean he can't be a great coach again somewhere else, similar to Andy Reid when he was in Philadelphia. Sean Payton is head coach of the Denver Broncos, who are the second seed, 10-2 right now in the AFC current playoff rankings. And maybe that could be Mike Tomlin. Maybe he steps down, sits out of football for a year, collects a check from the Steelers, then gets back into it, gets in, you know what I mean, maybe do broadcasting for a year, some analyst work or something like that. But yeah, let's shout out to, like I started to before I saw Claude. Claude, the funny part is he thinks Mike Tomlin would be great at Penn State. That would be so funny if he ended up at Penn State, Claude. Leaves one of your teams and goes to another. So shout out to the homie Claude. I just think that would be funny. Dwayne McNair in the building. Thanks for tapping in, Dwayne. Certainly appreciate you, bruh. Salute to you. We got the homie. Is it East Side Legend? That bad ownership, because the Rooneys have been the owners forever. But yeah, they've taken a step down since Art II has taken over, since Dan passed away and left. Claude want me to say, Claude, I'm not going to say fire Tomlin. Tomlin resign. I say Tomlin resign. I say Steelers trading. I say that stuff. I'm not Big G here. I'm not going to just call for everybody to lose their job. I think the current administration is doing that to enough people. So I'm not going to really call for, particularly this man. I'm not going to call for his job, but because he's done so much for the organization. I mean, he could get, traded, resign, step down. It has to be a negotiation. They're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. And I wonder if they'll even fire Mike Tomlin, tell you the truth. Goes back to the ownership. I think maybe Terrell Austin could be on his way out. Some of the high-priced players that they have signed on defense could be on the way out. I mean, but yeah. But if you draft a quarterback, you may have to bring in a new voice, a new coach, maybe even an offensive-minded guy to be that guy, right? I got some potential coaching and coordinator thoughts and ideas I had, but we'll talk about that tonight on the smash the gas on that one. So yeah, because we're going to talk about the change and stuff. So we'll talk about that. So Claude, yeah, not going to say that part. What else? Let's see. We got Sam. To say we're a mess is understatement. True. So frustrating, nothing of substance will change until Mike moves on. I don't disagree. How will we feel? And I doubt it happens. But just how will we feel if the Steelers won 4 of the next 5 games, won a division, made the playoffs, and made it to the AFC Championship? Would it still be the same? I think maybe it'd be time for a change, but I think that would potentially give Coach Tomlin another year at least. The homie 901 in the building. Reg Rivers. What up, Reg? Thanks for tapping me in, man. Certainly appreciate it. We got Big Pun. Big Pun. Yo, Big Pun. What up, bruh? Thanks for tapping in, man. We certainly appreciate you. Claude agrees 100%, man. Where am I at? Am I in the Matrix? Did I get to the Matrix? I'm Claude agreeing with me 100%. Wow. That's said never. Wow, Claude, you'll take him at PSU. That's surprising. So it's not so much Tomlin as a coach, he's being coach of the Steelers. But yeah, I don't know if he has the college world in him, but that's speculation. Big Ben put that out there on his podcast. Stephen A. Smith talked about a little bit today. Big Pun says Tomlin would run Penn State into the mud. I think he'd help get a lot of recruits there, though, big time recruits there. Right now, Penn State is struggling. They don't have a coach. I believe currently the high school recruiting window is open right now, and the portal transfer opens up at the very first week of the new year. So Penn State's think about that. I mean, the Steelers have their last 16th, 17th game the 18th week in the beginning of January. So that wouldn't be good for Penn State this year. What up, Swag? Swag in the building. Appreciate you stopping in, man. Steeler love, Steeler love. Let's see. I'm really talking about the discussion between you guys. Big Pun already in the mud. This is true, Claude, which is why I mentioned their current situation with no coach, no ability to recruit because they don't have a coach. And that portal's opening up soon. So, yeah, Penn State got to make a move. If we were to move on from Tomlin, who is the guy you would bring in? Man, I put that out there. Let me see. I got to remember my guy, man. We talking about that on Smash tonight, I believe. That's not it. Not on Smash. Is it on? Pump Your Brakes. Yeah, so if you look up at the top where we said we need to change, I got a couple candidates there, man. I got the offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, current offensive coordinator for the Rams. Defensive coordinator for the Rams, Mike Shula, Don Shula's grandson. Terrell Austin is the change we need for sure. And also, picture is, man, I don't got my notes for this show, but yeah, so I like up picture. That's who it is. Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. I like him, potential head coach, and I like Kubiak as a potential head coach. He's an offensive guy, can work with a new quarterback perhaps. And I like Mike Shula, defensive coordinator. We just, he's assistant defensive coordinator for the Rams. Clint Kubiak is a head coach candidate because he's currently the offensive coordinator with the Rams. And I think all that is a potentially a good look. So I would consider some of those guys, but we'll hear Big G's and Shannon's thoughts and what they think about some of that stuff. Let's see. Damian Tate. What up, bruh? The general manager should get replaced before Tomlin. Nah, Omar Khan been doing his thing, man. He hired your boy from Philly as the assistant, Andy Wild. They've had 3 good drafts in a row. 3 good drafts in a row. I think some of the problem is not even so much as Tomlin as a coach from an X and O perspective. I think a lot of the problem is his inability to change and fluidly move with the evolving changes in professional football. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to go over the middle of the field. He likes to play close conservative games, win off defensive turnovers. I mean, man, if you got a defense, it's okay if your defense give up 24. If you try and put 28 on the board, that's the Steelers' problem, man. They always play it close. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Sam. Khan and Andy Wild are good. I don't blame it on them. I don't blame it on Tomlin specifically either. Well, I blame it on some of his methods, some of his stubbornness, some of that. So, yeah, as far as the sinking ship, can it be turned around? That's what yet to see. You know what I'm expecting? I'm expecting one of those typical Ravens Steelers game this weekend. I think it's per usual, right? Going to be a tight 1-score game. It's on the road in Baltimore. Baltimore hasn't scared me this year. They're 6-6 too. Maybe both Tomlin and Harbaugh are coaching for their jobs for the rest of the season because the fans in Baltimore, I'm here in the DMV, Baltimore ain't but 45 minutes away. So Yeah, you hear it over there too. Maybe not as much, but they're 6-6 with an elite all-pro quarterback, and they've had some good regular seasons better than the Steelers. The Ravens probably run around 12-5, 13-4. The Steelers 10-7, maybe 11-6 at best the past few years. But they have the elite quarterback currently. He can't seem to win a playoff game. So Harbaugh and Tomlin both, man, they've coached more games against each other outside of any coaching matchups besides Vince Lombardi and George Halas. So that's the Green Bay Packers and the Bears, and that rivalry's been around for the longest. So I believe this would be maybe 37, 38 matchup between Tomlin and Harbaugh over all the years. So might be a little more, but we'll see what that looks like. That's playoffs and regular season included. But yeah, so the ship is taking in water right now, hasn't sank. I'm not optimistic, but I'm still going to be cheering for our Steelers for the rest of the season. See them through to the finish. Hopefully they can get in the tournament and make some noise. I think it's necessary to get the fan base back settled. But still could be clamoring for change, and the change might not come when you think it is. So I'm just saying potentially be prepared for that. I listened to Alan Saunders from Steelers Now yesterday. He was in the building, obviously, like a lot of the Steeler beat writers are and stuff. And he said the people he talked to in the building and stuff like that, the Steelers are operating business as usual. Doesn't seem like Art Rooney is ready to make any kind of move or anything like that. Tomlin said at his press conference that, they asked if the Steelers have an identity. He said, yeah, we're 6-6, which is true. He also was a lot more informative in regards to his press conference. He tries to usually keep things. I think he feels the ire of the fans around Pittsburgh, kind of like a few years ago when they fired. Man, Pittsburgh fans get a lot of people fired, right? They was it Mike Sullivan, the Penguins coach, fired. The manager for the Pirates got fired early in the season, like a third through the season this past year, fired. They're chanting fire Tomlin's game at Acrisure Stadium at a home game and a home humiliating loss to the Buffalo Bills. So could be deserving. All the teams the Steelers have lost to, with the exception of the Bengals, I believe have been playoff teams, right? They lost to the Bills, the Packers, the Bears. Bills, Packers, Bears. Who else did they lose to? They beat the Vikings. They beat the Colts. The Chargers are currently in playoff position. So that's 5, including the Bengals. One more loss I'm missing. Got a super chat from the homie Damian Tate. Thanks, bro. Certainly appreciate it. Why did Slay leave the team? Slay going back to your team, I think, after a few days. He going back to Philly. Slay was in Pittsburgh sucking. Like he had been demoted for James Pierre, who's a career special teams guy, plays cornerback, but he's really on the team because he's a gunner. But he got an opportunity to play. Slay was playing so bad. Slay don't want that smoke. He don't want no physicality. He's a poor tackler, and he can only play zone coverage. The Steelers want to play man to man. They might not have the personnel for that right now, but they cut Slay and moved Asante Samuel up. We'll talk about that tonight, if that makes a difference. They signed Adam Thielen, wide receiver. We'll check that out tonight and see what that's about. But yeah, man, Slay has been playing bad all year. Getting beat. I mean, it's not what we expected. We were having Joey Porter Jr., JPJ, Jalen Ramsey, and Darius Slay as our corners. Deshaun Elliott got hurt in the secondary. Lot of talent in the secondary, but just not communication. Terrell Austin's out of here. The defense has too much talent, too much high-priced talent for them to be playing as mid as they do. So I think that's going to be the first domino to fall as soon as the season's over with. Now maybe that, snowballs into everybody out. We're just going to start over. make our draft picks, acquire some talent. Steelers do have talent. But yeah, man, maybe it's a new voice, especially you get the quarterback. Maybe you're gonna go a new direction. What's Big Pun say? Big Pun say Slay played as if he was trying to get cut. Yeah, so it was that bad, Damien. He was playing that bad. Got people out here thinking he was trying to get cut. But I think he's gonna go back to Philly though. I think Philly will bring him back for the last 5 games as a bench piece. Help let him get another potential Super Bowl run. Pickens, you big dummy. What's up, man? Shout out to you, bro. Certainly appreciate you for tapping in. But yeah, man, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate everybody for checking it out, asking your questions, making your comments. Certainly appreciate it. Just a noon quick Tate's take. Not a whole lot to talk about. We'll get into the discussion of it all tonight. So tap in on the KnoItAllz channel for Smash the Gas. You can watch Pump Your Brakes either on the KnoItAllz channel or Steel Curtain Network. Tap in where you tap in. Appreciate you. Man, we just got, who's that joining us? Val Ford. Val Ford, what up, bruh? Thanks for tapping in real quick, but we're going to get out of here. Just go back. It's only a 22-minute video. Go back and check it out while you at work. Put in your earbuds or whatever you got to do, man. Check us out. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. We certainly appreciate everybody. And until this evening, 7:15 for Smash the Gas, we'll be here then. With that being said, until later tonight for Smash the Gas, we out. Peace.